Hi everyone, it's Bonnie Terry here, and we are talking about how do you improve comprehension as well as make studying easier. And we can do that through note-taking and color coding. And the color coding is what really makes the difference. Okay, so I'm going to go through an example, and this is going to be an example with listening comprehension, and you can do the same exact thing if you're actually reading the story. So I'm going to read a story aloud, and then we're going to take notes from it. And I want you to be thinking about what happens at the beginning, and what happens in the middle, and what happens at the end. And so what I'm going to do is to actually do a little bit of color coding to help you with it. And so what happens at the beginning, what happens in the middle, what happens at the end. And I've color coded them according to the way a stoplight is, because we go at the green and the yellow is in the middle. We kind of pause, that's in the middle, and the red is at the end when we stop. And so when it's a three-part story, that's typically what I'll do. A three-part selection, we'll do green, yellow, and red. So I want you to be thinking about what's going to be in the green and what's going to be in the yellow and what's going to be in the red as I read the story aloud. Whoops, I didn't mean to erase all of that. Okay, so we have our green, yellow, and red, and I changed the middle to, I just highlighted the yellow. So we have our three parts that we're going to be listening to. The name of the story is The Tale of the Whale. Tab is on the dock in the fog. He has a pole, some line, and a hook. Tab wants to catch a whale. He puts a small fish on the hook for bait and casts the line out into the fog. Plop! The hook lands in a boat. The boat starts to pull the line out to sea. I have a whale on my hook, Tab thinks, for he can't see the boat in the fog. Tab pulls on the pole, but the boat pulls it out of Tab's hands and into the sea. Wow! That whale was so big that it took my pole, Tab cried, and he ran all the way home to tell his mom and dad the tale of the whale. So to begin with, when we are taking notes, what we're going to do is to write down what the name of the story was. And that was The Tale of the Whale. And then we need to put down who is in the story. So in the story, we had Tab, and we had a boat, and we had the whale. Or at least what Tab thought was the whale. And so then we're going to go and what happened at the beginning, what happened at the green part. And because it is the beginning, I can even type or write my notes in green. What happened at the beginning? Tab is fishing on the dock in the fog. And then what happens in the middle? In the middle, the hook landed in the boat. Oops, and that's going to be yellow. And just for, actually, I will highlight that because the yellow ink would be really hard to see. In the boat and gets pulled out to sea. And then what happens at the end of the story? Tab thinks a whale pulled his pole out to sea. And he runs to tell is mom. So do you see how we've color coded? So we know exactly what happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end. We can use colored pencils. We can also just shade in, as I did with the highlighting. We could shade in the background so that we know what happened when. And then, of course, we're going to write what was our favorite part. So my favorite part was when the boat pulled the fishing pole out to sea. And so there you have it. So we've got the beginning, the middle, and the end. It makes it very easy. You can do the same thing with more complicated stories and even be doing the more complicated stories. You can just add a couple of other colors to what you're working on. Now, and so this is going to be, as you get more complicated stories. You can do the same type of color coding when you are taking notes from a textbook. And this is using our textbook note-taking form from 10 Minutes to Better Study Skills. And you're going to write the main topic at the top. And so that's going to be the New England colonies. And then I have subtopics. And so right here, you're going to see a subtopic separating from the church. So I'm going to write that right here. The pages do give you enough room. I just had to shrink it some so that you could see it like that. And so then we're going to look for, is there a keyword? Is there a highlighted word? Yes, there is. There's a highlighted word right here. Pilgrim, and right here, I'll underline it, separatists. There's two highlighted words. And so what we're going to do with those is we're going to put them on the blank spaces over here. So we have pilgrims, separatists. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking at the words immediately following the highlighted words for the definition. For example, it says a pilgrim is a person who travels for religious reasons. And so that's what I would be putting in this section right here. And then for separatists, it says the English called them separatists because they had broken away from the English church. So the people that broke away from the English church, that's going to go here. And I can color code all of this whole section so that I know that that's what the information from this particular section is. There's also a spot that says question. And so where it says question, you're going to think to yourself, what question can I ask myself from the information that I learned? What question can I answer? Or do I need to find more information? So I might say, well, what did the Pilgrims do when they moved to the Netherlands? And the answer would be the Pilgrims found religious freedom in the Netherlands. So I might ask a question that goes along with it. And then I'm going to write that answer in here. If I have 3 keywords, I'll fill all of those, and then I'll do the question down here so that I'm always asking a question. So then we're going to go on to the next section. And because it's the next section, I'm going to go ahead and use a different color. And so the next section is called Mayflower Compact. And I'm going to look for any highlighted words. Well, there aren't any on this page, but I'm sure there are some on the following page. If you have a section, though, that does not have any highlighted words, that's perfectly fine, but we still have to write something down to recognize that this was important. And so we're going to go ahead and write down, after reading, what we felt the Mayflower Compact was, or we're going to go ahead and write another question so that we can be sure that we have our bases covered with the information that they are giving us. And so for that, we might have this whole section be orange. So we're going to color code the things. So then when I go back and study, I'm going to be going, oh, the green was talking about separating from the church. Anything that was orange was Mayflower Compact. And so I'm going to be color coding things. I can use colored pencils, and that's going to be helping me. Or even highlighter tape. You can use highlighter tape that comes in 6 different colors. You can put it right on your textbook and then take it up off because it's removable highlighter tape. And it's going to really help you, though, with making those connections. Then when you go to take a test, you can bring in your highlighter tape or bring in your colored pencils and just lay them on the desk, and you will start to remember when there's a question, for example, about the Mayflower Compact, and you glance at the orange colored pencil, all of that information is going to come back to you because it's been anchored with the orange. When it's talking about the Pilgrims and the Separatists, you look at the green, and all that information is going to come rushing back at you because you have that association with the green color for that. And so that's how you're going to be taking notes. You're going to color code each section or make an association with things that go together. Additionally, there's one other point I wanted to show you. That is, you can also use color coding when you are writing a paragraph. We have the yellow here for the top of the bun and the bottom of the bun because buns are typically, beige or light colored. And then here we have our burger. Well, this paragraph only has one detail. And in order to have a good paragraph, we want to have the deli burger. We want to have at least 3 ingredients. So here we have tomato and lettuce and the burger on the inside. So when you color code your paragraphs in this manner, we have the topic sentence, we have tomato, lettuce, and the burger for the insides, and then we have our bottom of the bun. It's going to make you have a much better paragraph. So for additional tips on improving reading, writing, and study skills, we do have a reading, writing, and study skills program. It is a 12-week program. Just go to bonnieterrylearning.com for more information. We also have a premium program, which includes all of these programs that you see here. An assessment via K-therapy, visual, auditory, kinesthetic therapy, spelling and phonics, reading, writing, and study skills, a math program, and our test-taking strategies program. Again, just head over to bonnieterrylearning.com for more information. And oh my goodness, I can see there's an extra digit in there. Our phone number is 530-888-7160. Feel free to give us a call. And I hope this has been helpful to you.